Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Dairy Mom podcast. My name is Diana Addae. I am the founder of the Dairy Mom. We inspire, educate, and empower mothers who may be struggling to reclaim their dreams or who may have temporarily set aside their ambitions due to the demands of motherhood. Today, I'm going to do a monologue to introduce you to the brand, the Dairy Mom. I'm going to talk to you about what inspired me to start the Dairy Mom. What is the Dairy Mom about? What's our vision? What's our mission? What should we expect in the coming weeks on the Dairy Mom podcast and blog? And so stay tuned as I walk you through all of these things. Let's get started. What started the Dairy Mom? And so a little bit of introduction about myself. I am a mother of a very beautiful girl. She's currently 6 years old. 6 years ago, somewhere in August 2018, I became a mother by decision. And I was shocked to see everything that came to me as a mother, right from pregnancy. And I remember, going through the pain of pregnancy. The first trimester, the second trimester, and the last trimester, which was like close to hell. And then right after that, I had to now start taking care of the baby. And I started experiencing all these challenges, and I'm going to come to that point where I break down. I'll share some of my experiences with you. But I recall back then feeling so angry that nobody told me. Nobody really sat down and told me that, motherhood was going to be this hard. Nobody really took their time to explain. Like we have social media. And the funny thing is, anytime I went on social media back then, I'm talking about 2018 when I had my baby, it was all the nice stuff. Like you see, and even now, it happens even now. Whenever you go to social media and you're looking for something on mothers and all that, like you see the beautiful photo shoots, the nice belly, the beautiful robes, and all that. When the baby is here, you're seeing like this cute little baby, and like everything is so cute. And I'm sure most of you would side with me, but nobody put it out there. There was no, maybe there was, and I couldn't find that, but I think there was not enough information out there as to the difficulties that one will have to experience when they become mothers. The challenge, like nobody spoke about, like even pregnancy, like you get to a point where in the middle of the night you can't even sleep because you are in pain, especially the last trimester. Nobody talks about the fact that sometimes some women face loss of employment because their employers found out that they were pregnant, and so they had to let them go. Sometimes they will tell you maybe this, but of course no employer wants to put themselves into trouble, so they're probably tied to performance. And that was my story. It happened when I didn't expect. To me, I thought, I'm going to have my baby and I'm going to go on mat leave and I'm going to go back to work, and then, like it was a lifestyle. But unfortunately for me, when I was in my second trimester, towards the end of my second trimester, my employer found out I was pregnant and they laid me off. This was the first big blow that I experienced because I didn't see it coming. Like I wasn't even, I didn't even dream about it. And here I was, my belly in front of me. And, you go to work. I went to work. It was a normal day. And I went to work. And I was told, okay, you're needed in HR office. What did I do? Like, What did I do? And before you know, oh, you've been given some documents to sign. A, B, C, D. Like, nothing made sense to me. And I was told, okay, you sign this. If you sign this dotted line, sign this and take this severance paycheck. If you take this severance paycheck, you cannot sue us. Blah blah blah. And at the time, I was, I was right out of grad school, finished school. It was my first job, and I really, what do I know about suing? At the time, like, I didn't know anything, and I can't begin to tell you how I felt when I was being escorted out of the building with my belly in front of me. Okay, go to the desk, pack everything, and go home. That was the most difficult part of my pregnancy journey. And I didn't know what I was going to do, to be honest, afterwards. And so when I came back, I went online and I saw lots of information online, and apparently this was happening to many women who had even been in their roles, from different companies for quite a number of years. But then when they got pregnant, they got laid off. And so I felt like, this is not fair. This is not fair. Like, why do we have to go through this big law because we want to bring, a baby into the world? And the world needs babies so that our population can grow, right? So that was like one of the things that I had discovered, like, oh, the system wasn't fair. And I was in a different country at the time. So I went on and I started seeing other women who, at the time, they had their babies. But I recall one encounter where the woman had to go back to work 2 weeks after delivering her baby. 2 weeks. Because her employer wouldn't allow her to stay home longer than that. And again, the policies in place at the time did not allow, even up until now, it still doesn't allow women to, have some extended amount of time or for a certain period to stay home to nurture their babies. And so some women had to go back to work after 2 weeks. And this was the country in which I birthed my child. And so it was difficult. And I saw this woman, she worked at one of the pizza offices, and I was going to pick up pizza, and I saw her, and she had bent over a bit because I saw that she was pregnant, and then I saw her again. I'm like, oh, like, you're no longer pregnant. It was like a flash. And when I saw that, I'm like, what happened? Like, you're supposed to at least stay home and said my employer only gave me 2 weeks. So at 2 weeks, she wasn't healed, obviously, and she was struggling, but she had to go to work. And she was like bent over and she was in pain. And I was just like, what's happening here? Of course, I couldn't do anything about it. I couldn't go face the employer or anything, but I felt the pinch. Then I encountered other moms who had their own challenges, like, the baby is here now. You have to try and find how you're going to manage that, taking care of the baby and going to work. And so I figured this was a bigger problem. It wasn't only happening to that lady I saw at the pizza joint. I saw another lady who was also a corporate worker. She also had to go back to work after 2 weeks. And so it was all over the place. And later, when I was navigating my own, journey of motherhood, other challenges kept coming along the way. And I felt like it got to a point where I felt like my future was slipping through my hands because it was so difficult, trying to juggle motherhood. And I remember, as for me, but like even at 3 months postpartum, I was walking like a zombie. I was walking like a zombie because my whole body wasn't healed. I wasn't mentally prepared for work. I wasn't like emotionally, like postpartum depression was so real. And I started having conversations with other moms, and people started telling me, their own challenges, like this, like that. I was before becoming a mother, I was this girl who was so ambitious, who was like, go to girl, go get it, go get it. And then boom, motherhood came, and here I was like, I couldn't even get up. It was one struggle upon the other. Breastfeeding. One mother said, nobody even taught us how to breastfeed. Like, you had to figure out how you're going to breastfeed your baby, no matter how difficult. And breastfeeding came with its own challenges. Like, are you going to breastfeed, or you're going to do formula? If you're going to do formula is expensive. If you're going to do breastfeeding is painful. Sometimes you feel the pain at your back, and like you can't even sleep, and you still have to breastfeed your daughter or your child like every 2 to 3 hours. Like, it was difficult. And so how was I going to go back to that busy lifestyle whilst having to care for a child who needed my attention every 2 to 3 hours? Like, feed me, and then some people tell you, oh, when the child sleeps you can sleep. No, you can't even sleep when the child sleeps. You can sleep when the child sleeps. Like, when the child sleeps, you now have to come and take care of yourself. You have to come and take care of yourself. And I can't even like go back to think about the labor pain, like labor and delivery. I personally went into labor for 23 hours. I just can't imagine. Like, up until now, I can't find any words to describe the pain that I experienced. And so I experienced during labor. And so I felt like nobody told me this. Like, why didn't anybody put it out there? Like, okay, like, it's nice. It's when the baby is here, it's so rewarding, and you feel so good, like seeing your mini me. And for me, if you've ever seen my child, and for those of you who know me personally, you see my daughter is a carbon copy of me. See my mini me, and like, it's rewarding. But the pain, like all the struggles that come with it. And here you are, go-to mom, go-to girl, before becoming a mother. You have your big ambitions, like, hey, when I finish school, I want to become this, I want to become that, I want to go crash the world, I want to get it, and boom, you have a baby on your lap, and you don't even know. So you don't even know what to do. And you're trying to get your career back, like, you're trying to push through. And this weight is trying to pull you back. And so whilst you're trying to push yourself forward, this is pulling you back. You're pushing yourself forward, this is pulling you back. And for some mothers, some mothers end up giving up on their ambitions because they just couldn't. Some mothers are also trying so hard to go through it. Like, I'm not going to give up on myself. I'm not going to give up on my dreams. I'm not going to give up on my aspirations. I want to do both. But it's a struggle. It's a struggle to find daycare. It's a struggle to find someone to help me with the child. It's a struggle. And so I figured, what can we do about this? What can we do about it? All of these things, are out there, but I felt nobody was talking about. Why is nobody talking about these struggles that mothers go through? Why is nobody talking about it? And we have mothers that stay home and become depressed because they don't have anybody to talk to about these things. Maybe you're not hearing that somebody is also going through what you're going through. And so you're depressed and you feel you're the only person. But another person is going through, and they probably have been able to find a way to gain some success in that area. And so how about we all come together and tell our stories? Maybe yours is postpartum depression, but you were able to find a way to overcome it. Maybe mine was maybe loss of employment. Maybe another person's own was maybe having to drop out of school. Another person had to resign. One of my friends had to resign because she was supposed to go back to work after 2 weeks, and she just called the employer and said, "You know what? I've resigned." Because it was hard to to find that, be able to go and go back to work like after 2 weeks, and it was just hard. But eventually, we all found our way back into our careers. We all found our way back into what we loved. Some people have become entrepreneurs, they own their businesses. Some have become, great women in their professions and all that. So that woman that is able to defy the odds, because all of these things are the odds that come against us, right? This, that. And as the mother, the moment the baby drops, your motherhood, or should I say, your motherly instincts set in. Your baby is your number one priority. You want to protect your child. You want to love your child and all that. But as the child grows up, you also realize that you as an individual, you have your own personal aspirations, and the child as an individual has their own path that they also want to pursue. And so how do you make sure that in ensuring that your child is safe, your child is well taken care of, your child is in good hands, has good mental health, everything? How do you make sure that you also are pursuing your own dreams? How do you make sure that you're not letting go of yourself for your child? Because I figured that I took my time to study, like, for some of our older generation of mothers, they gave all of themselves to us. But then when we grew up, we also went away to live our lives, and they were left behind. Some of them felt like they were empty. Some of them felt like, now, okay, I sacrificed all my years for you, so now you have to work for me. How do we not find ourselves in a position where we have to make our children our future insurance policy? How do we make sure that we do not get to that point where our kids are all grown up, they're going to start their lives, and we find ourselves having to depend on them to take care of us? How do we stop that cycle? How do we make sure that we don't end up feeling like, oh, our kids have to take care of us, when we are in old age? And of course, sometimes, it happens, sometimes it doesn't. But how do we make sure that we are securing our own selves, our own future, and we are not feeling empty after the kids have grown up and they've left us? How do we find ourselves in a position where we make sure that our children are well taken care of? Because trust me, every mother, every parent wants to make sure that they give their children the best, what they didn't experience as children or in childhood. They want to make sure that they give their children that experience. So every parent wants to make sure their kids have a better life than them. And as mothers, here we are faced with all of these challenges. But how do we make sure that we push against the strides? We defy all the odds that are thrown against us, and make sure that in ensuring the success of our children's future, we also are not left behind. We also do not forsake ourselves, our growth, the pursuit of our dreams, what we dreamt of becoming when we were younger children, or when we were girls, or when we became like high schoolers. In class, your teachers will ask you, what do you want to become when you grow up? I want to become a doctor, I want to become a lawyer, I want to become all of those dreams we had that motherhood is threatening. How do we make sure that we still become all of those things we had dreamt of, and make sure that our children are in good hands, their futures are secure? How do we do that? So that is what we are going to find out on the Daring Mom podcast. So the Daring Mom, I define I define the dying mom as a confident, a sophisticated, modern, ambitious, and audacious mom who defies all odds of motherhood and pursues her ambitions and still ensures that her children are safe and secured and they have their futures aligned. The dying mom believes that motherhood is only an aspect of her life and should not define her entire existence as a woman. So, therefore, rather than settle for a mediocre life because of the demands of motherhood, she finds ways of making sure that she's able to juggle both roles effectively. And some of these ways can mean finding a very good support system. Some of them may mean having a very good partner to support you. Some may mean having maybe a good extended family to support you. Some may mean, finding very good daycare, finding very good schools to put your kids in, finding, respite workers. And I'll do a whole monologue on a respite worker, babysitters, and all that. We need all the support we can find, all of them, all the support we can find to be able to be that woman who is able to make sure that her kids are okay and her own career is also progressing. So that is the term of, and that is why this I came up with this initiative because as I said earlier, I felt these conversations were not being held. And so, if we don't have information, how do we prepare ourselves for what's coming ahead? But when we have information, we can better psych ourselves up. We can better prepare that, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to become a mother. These are the challenges, these are the realities on the ground. How do I prepare for them? And this podcast is not only for mothers, it's for women in general. It's for fathers too, because we become mothers because of fathers. And so it's not only one sided. It's for the entire community. It's for all of us. It's for everybody. Because we as mothers, we are part of the community. We are part of this world. We are part of everything that is happening around us. So this is for everybody. I believe in the power of storytelling. I believe that as we all come together and share our stories, we'll find strength, we'll find inspiration, we'll find knowledge, we'll be educated because someone is going to say something that is going to help someone. Someone is going to share a resource that she took advantage of that helped her or that continues to help her to find that harmonious balance. And somebody said it's difficult to say, we want to find a perfect balance. We juggle, how to juggle the roles. I believe that in sharing our stories we can find all of these support, and it becomes a network of support where we hold each other's hands and lift each other up as mothers, as women, as parents. And I'm looking 15 years down the lane, 20 years down the lane, where we have all been able to, achieve our dreams, achieve our aspirations, our kids are doing well, and we are all happy and smiling. So this is the essence of the ceremony. And I'm going to quickly jump into what our mission statement is and what our vision statement is and what to expect in the coming weeks on the Dairy Mom podcast. So our mission, or I would rather start with our vision statement. Our vision is to be the leading platform that inspires and empowers mothers globally, helping them to reclaim their ambitions and achieve a harmonious balance between motherhood and their personal or professional growth. Our mission is to create engaging and authentic conversations through our podcast and blog, highlighting ambitious mothers' triumphs and challenges, providing a practical insights and inspiration. We aim to build a supportive global community where mothers feel motivated and equipped to pursue their dreams while embracing the beautiful journey of motherhood. So this is our mission statement, and this is our vision statement. In the coming weeks, I am going to share some monologues like this when I will be talking. I'll pick a topic, one challenge upon the other, and it's not, the goal is not to throw fear into the air. It is to bring the raw stories to you, as authentic as can be, so that you can, if you are experiencing it, you don't sit in your corner and feel you are alone. You feel like, oh, somebody's going through this, but they have a solution, or they found a way, and so I can learn. So it is to inspire, educate, and empower mothers around the world. And this is global. And so I am going to, from time to time, do monologues as and when, I get questions and I need to address. But then also on the podcast, I'm going to invite guests. We're going to have guest interviews, and because most of our guests, are outside, we are spread all over the world. Remember, in our vision, we want to build a global community. So I want mothers from all over the world. It doesn't matter where you are, you can come on the podcast. If you want to come on the podcast and share your story to inspire somebody, you can come on the podcast. So we're going to have a podcast mostly over Zoom, but for those that are with me, right here, in my city, we can also find time to have in-person interviews depending on what works for everybody. So don't think you're not here, so you can come on the podcast. We are going to do this, for Zoom. You're going to share inspirational stories. You're going to share the experiences. I want you to hear from people, from mothers, what they went through, how they were able to find, that balance. How, if it was support, how did they find support? How did they communicate their needs? How did they overcome certain challenges? Certain challenges that sometimes we don't even want to talk about because it's so uncomfortable. Some mothers have gone through it and have succeeded and are comfortable sharing, so that they can inspire someone else who feels like, oh, this is too much for me. I can't handle it. I can. You can. Yes, you can. We believe that everybody can handle it, as long as they get the support they need, they get the inspiration, they get the motivation, they get this. So it's going to get very interesting in the coming weeks, um, and I want you to expect more. And like I said, it's for everybody. It's for the mother. This platform is for the mothers, for the fathers. It's for everybody out there, all parents. Hoping that you can enjoy, your time on the podcast as we go along. And we're going to stream. We're going to post it on our YouTube page. If you visit our YouTube channel, it's called the Diary Mom. You can find it. You can find the logo there, beautifully, embedded on our YouTube page. We also have our website, thedairymom.com, and the thedairymom.com website is going to launch very soon. You'll be amazed to see, the beautiful things that we are doing, behind the scenes. I know most people are anticipating, so just hold on a little bit. Hold on. We are going to launch the website very soon. It's beautiful. It's powerful. We want to post some stories there from some mothers, so that when we launch, you'll be able to have some stories to read on the go, and it's not like you're going to have to wait, because as we go along, you're going to have more stories coming in, and as the stories come in, I'm going to keep posting them on the website, so you will see our blog posts, and I'm going to be sharing them. We also have a YouTube. We also have our other social media handles. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram, it is I am underscore the Dairy Mom. I am underscore the Dairy Mom. We are on Instagram. We are on Facebook, the Dairy Mom. We are on YouTube, the Dairy Mom. We are on LinkedIn, the Dairy Mom. So wherever you're comfortable with, you can go there. And then we are going to stream on other, podcast platforms like Apple Podcasts, Spotify. As the when we gather, we do a broadcast, we're going to put it on all of these platforms, so you can listen, you can watch, you can read, from everywhere, depending on your preference. So join me, and let's do this together. As I always say, I'm going to come back again with another monologue where I break down our logo, the significance of our logo, what it stands for, um, the colors, why we choose the colors, what each color stands for, why is the mother holding the hand of the child and they are both looking in different directions. All of that, I'm going to take my time and break down the significance of our logo in another monologue to you. And I'm going to keep doing more monologues. And very soon, I'm going to start bringing you episodes where I interview guests and then you hear from other mother stories. So if you are inspired already, if you are motivated already, and you want to come on the show, just hit me up, reach out to me on any of my social media platforms, and then we can have a conversation. Again, my name is Diana Addae. And as I wrap up this monologue, I want to say thank you very much for taking the time to listen to me today, and thank you for signing up. Tell a friend to tell a friend about the Diary Mom. And as I sign off, one question I want to ask is, what is your hashtag? The Diary Mom story. I know you have a story. What is your hashtag? The Diary Mom story. Join me and let's do this together. My name is Diana Addae, and I am the Diary Mom.